How's it going, baseball fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Grind Never Stops podcast. How's everyone doing today, everybody? I'm your co-host Steve again. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the World Series, the Atlanta Braves versus the Houston Astros. Get to know myself. In MLB The Show 21, I'm basically a contact pitcher. A contact pitcher means you care about location all the time when you throw to the catcher. If you want to play me in MLB The Show, my game tag is down below in the description if you want to play me. Get to know myself. I prefer lots of speed on the base pass. Speed kills. And yes, I'm known as an irritant, like I irritate you in so many different ways. It's really ridiculous. When I swing the bat, I'm basically a contact hitter. A contact hitter is basically you go for ground balls and base hits. But I trick you into home runs. A home run is when it's out of the ballpark, that's fair. When you score a home run, you score more runs depending on how many runs on base. And now, before I get to the series, if I said like if it's out of script, I'm sorry in advance because this next part is going to confuse you because I know how to beat the Astros. Please bear with me. Thank you in advance. So, getting to the Astros versus the Braves. The Astros won against the Red Sox because, most important, the Houston Astros find ways to cheat on the actual baseball game. Because I remember one time, why is there a light at Fenway Park during the American League Championship Series when the Astros are going against the Red Sox? And yes, you're hearing from a Red Sox fan. When you're pitching, contact pitching, it's really necessary here because using one pitch at a specific spot makes you predictable. Like, for example, binoculars, communicate, fastball away. He's going to throw the ball. Don't swing. Now remember, folks, having tons of game plans will make the Astros look bothered, meaning they will look lost and look very silly when trying to swing the bat. If you are a Braves fan, they don't have a lot of contact pitchers because they only have Max Fried, Charlie Morton, and bullpen reliever Chris Martin. Chris Martin, get to know him. He's a low and high reward pitcher. And yes, he has contact too when he's pitching. So anyway, to beat the Houston Astros, you have to use three options at a specific spot with movement. It will cause lots of confusion. Outstanding communication is key here. And trust also. But the pitcher cannot reveal the option. Trust it. Trust me. Remember, folks, being aggressive gets you somewhere. Being passive gets you nowhere. Even worse, you will go backwards. There's three pitches to watch for the Atlanta Braves for the World Series at a specific spot. The four-seam fastball, which means you grip the ball and throw it very hard. And then you have the curveball. The curveball goes up like a U shape and then it goes down. And then you have the sinker, which means it's a hard pitch that's made to drop down for ground balls. If executed correctly and you throw it inside, you jam the bat that leads to pop-ups and fly balls. If executed correctly, location is key, folks. Getting to the Braves, for Braves bats, you should take a look at Dansby Swanson and Ozzie Albies. Dansby Swanson is a decent hitter with decent speed, and Ozzie Albies bats switch, meaning he bats opposite side depending on the pitcher. Ozzie Albies, he has 67 speed and is MLB The Show. This is what I like about MLB The Show. It's accurate. They use math. That's real life game, folks. Now that's a simulation game. The Astros starting lineup is very slow, except the short man, Jose Altuve. He's a short, yes, he's small, folks, balanced hitter that has decent speed. To beat the Astros bats, and yes, they're a power hitting team, you have to throw the ball down and inside or down the way because the Astros starting lineup are pretty slow. They're made to hit home runs. Here's the question for the Astros, because I checked out from MLB The Show 21. They don't utilize their bench because they have fast runners on the bench. Something's not right here. Because get this, you can't score runs if you're that slow on the base paths, except Jose Altuve. This is very simple. If the Braves got any chance of beating the Astros, if you're a fan of the Braves and goes to the Atlanta Braves as well, the whole entire people that work for the Braves, to beat them, you must hide the game plan very well because the Astros will find ways to cheat everywhere. Not on the game, but before the game. And trust it, there's binoculars everywhere. Contact pitching, it's very important. For a pitcher, it's strongly recommended to have 5 pitches in your bag of tricks. And yes, you're hearing it from a Mets, Cubs, and Red Sox fan. If you're a Braves pitcher on the mound, you must have 3 options at a specific location in order to counter cheating. It will cause confusion. And you have to communicate with your catcher and the pitcher, meaning the catcher and the pitcher must communicate very, very well. Then they have a chance to win the World Series if you're Braves. Contact hitting and learning how to bunt. Bunting means when you hold the ball across, just meet the ball with the bat. It's very important because the Astros, they have a slow starting lineup overall, except Jose Altuve. Because Jose Altuve has decent speed. You have to respect him. Prediction time. I'm going to go with the Houston Astros in 6. Because I just don't like the Braves pitching. They're at a huge disadvantage with contact pitching. But I like Dansby Swanson and Ozzie Albies. Because Ozzie Albies has 67 speed and Dansby Swanson has decent speed. That will keep the Braves in this game. Make it not a sweep. Thanks for tuning in, baseball fans. I'm your co-host Steve again from Grind Never Stops. and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the game, Astros and Rays fans.